right? I lost everything. I was in debt. I lost my friends' money. I had family invested in it. I lost all their money. And because my ego was so attached to it, I blew up with it. Life is from the inside out. As my inside got better, as I started to love myself, my life got better on its own, like nothing I was doing, right? That made me realize, ooh, you're onto something. Go deeper. Do this. Like, because I had no choice. I was locked up anywhere, right? So I just went all in. Like, if I was running my company still, I wouldn't have done it. If things were going well, I wouldn't have done it. I had no choice. Just commit, go all in. That's what it takes. When you go all in, and I've shared with you exactly step by step what worked for me. Yep. That's all you need, and you'll figure your own stuff out too. But it's commitment. A vow, I believe, when you make a vow to yourself, that's a sacred act. You know, a vow to yourself, you can't make a vow to yourself and not go all in. Because you need to have the ability to trust yourself. And when you start making commitments to yourself, I really believe if you make commitments to yourself and you do them, people talk about confidence and how to be confident. I tell it's the simplest thing ever. Start making commitments to yourself and keep them. You will start carrying yourself differently, knowing that you're a person who can keep the commitments to themselves. It's like gives you a sense of inner strength and confidence in your own abilities to keeping your word to yourself. If you do that, that is the shortest path to confidence. So our minds are these rats, running around in cages, right? They just follow these rat hole paths. And it's almost like you're retraining your inside. And for me, I was following these decades of training one way and then trying to shift to another way. So the only way you could do it is almost in a hardcore committed manner. You're taking all these years of being one pattern and try to shift it to a different pattern. So it's a practice. And in all honesty, it's like going to the gym, right? It's like you got to work out. If I stopped working out and just started eating cake and donuts every day, I would get out of shape. It's the same thing with the mind, but I think the mind devolves even faster because of all those, all that lifetime of training the other way. If you start keep on thinking about certain things, you're just deepening the grooves, and that's actually basic neuroscience. That's a neuroplasticity. Neurons that wire together, fire together. If you keep on thinking about a certain thing again and again, remembering it, especially with feeling, that becomes a stronger path when your neurons, and then it's easier. It's like water going down a pathway in a mountain. It's easier to flow down that way. You got to feel it. And people say, but I don't love myself. I'm like, well, shit, I hated myself when I started. But one thing we can do, here's the beautiful thing. We can fake emotions. We can just try it anytime. You can actually sit there and fake it. If you do the body, you shift your body language, and you actually really anyone can sit there for a moment, make themselves feel love for themselves.
So if we have everybody right now, smile big, think the most warming, loving thoughts they possibly can, and really feel that emotion, you're saying they're changing that
whatever works for them. And so what I did was I started doing it obsessively. It's not rocket science. It's literally how we're wired. And we can use it to work against us by thinking negative thoughts about us, or we can use it in a positive way. I think it's more than affirmation, because emotion creates grooves faster than anything. Like let's say you've been driving a car all your life, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And you get in an accident, and all of a sudden, some people will never get in a car again. They'll have that terror. Why? You have a lifetime of car experience, and then because there was strong emotion involved in that accident. Your brain just wired it hard. That's how childhood trauma works that way as well. Your brain just wires it hard with that strong emotion.
Yep.
So you can use that also for your benefit. Now you can take a negative experience wired with strong emotion, and now you're like staying in that place. Start creating positive feelings for yourself with strong emotion. You do the same thing. The brain works either way. It's like I say, it's a double-edged sword. You can use it outwards or inwards. It's up to you. What emotion is fake? What emotion is real? Emotion is emotion.
Thank you.
Your body doesn't know the difference. You can create any emotion you want. You can actually sit there and think about something and get angry. If I told you, here's $100,000, if you can the next minute make yourself angry, I bet you whatever, you will. If I say, here's $100,000, and you can just really, for a minute, for 10 seconds, feel just deep, immense love for yourself. You can. Emotion is emotion. It's biochemistry. There's no faking. It just is. It's kind of funny how we think, no, certain things have to happen for me to feel that emotion. It's a lie. I think one is reacting, one is proactive in life. Like someone can do something that maybe years ago would piss me off that now it doesn't mean anything to me. What's the difference? I am. It's my filter, how I'm looking at it, what I'm choosing to create out of it. That's the way I look at it. So ultimately, we are responsible for our emotions. No one else is responsible. No matter what they do, they're not responsible. My reaction is I'm responsible to. I mean, sometimes I think being angry is very appropriate. Sometimes it's not. It's our choice. When we start working ourselves from the inside, as our inside shifts, our outside shifts. So like whenever things in my life are not going well, I always actually ask myself, who am I being that's creating this reality for me? However you want to define reality. It could be just by perception, it could be how I'm looking at life, or it could be life itself. What it does is it gives me the responsibility for my own reality. And so what I do is then I start working my inner self, and then, you know what? Reality shifts again. Always does. It really does. I don't know why it works that way. It just does. I forget. I get lazy. I fall. I get up. I'm human, right? I get up, and then I dust myself off, and then I just work on myself again. Because once you've seen it, once you've actually seen the effect come from work you've done on the inside, you cannot hide from it. You know your own truth. I'm not believing in theory. I'm a big believer in applied action. The price for me has been who I've become. Like, if I do something stupid next month and lose all my money again, you know what? 5 months later, I'll have 10x the money. I'm not worried about it because I know who I've become. And that you only get by doing. I don't think you can visualize that. I don't think you can train yourself. That kind of confidence just comes jumping off the cliffs, and you realize, I'm jumping up another cliff. I'll sprout wings again. I will always screw up if I go purely for the money, but if I go for what's an expression of me, the world is just amazing.